Hey anglers, would you like to become a better troller? If so, check out a Teaching Fishing Trolling Boot Camp this summer. 4 hours of high intensity, hands-on, on-the-water training with one of the Teaching Fishing staff will cover all the basics and pro tips you need to become a better troller. Class size and dates are limited, so use the link on the screen to get all the details and sign-up information. Learning to become a better troller is easy with the Teaching Fishing Trolling Boot Camp.
Are you ready for the Spring Detroit River Walleye Run? Do you understand the 3 major migration routes into the Detroit River from Lake Erie, the timing of each route, where the fish that use each route end up to spawn, or how changes in our winters have affected the amount of fish that use each route? Check out the Teachin' Fishin' Detroit River Workshop, now available for streaming at teachinfishin.com.
Just the facts.
It's a fact that one of the most important things we teach here at Teaching Fishing is boating safety. Having an inflatable PFD on anytime you're on the water can help save your life when an accident happens. You know, I've been on the boat when something goes bad, and it goes bad very, very quickly, and there's very little time to react. So, a high quality inflatable PFD are easy to wear, they're comfortable, they're not bulky, they allow for full fishing movement, and they could save you in case of an emergency. Make sure you've got an auto-inflatable PFD on your body as soon as that boat leaves the dock, and don't take it off till you're tied back up. We want you to come back from every fishing trip and join us back here at Teaching Fishing.
Just the facts.
Alrighty, 3 great things there. Trolling Boot Camp. If you want to get signed up for that, you can go to teachingfishing.com, click on the events, find the Trolling Boot Camp. We've only got a few spots. I think we have 3 morning classes and I think 3 afternoon classes, 4 people each. We don't have a lot of spots left, so if you're interested in that, make sure that you sign up. They're really fun. 4 hours on the boat, on the pontoon. We spend an hour at the dock talking about some basics, and then we get on the water and actually let you guys hands-on do everything you need to do to learn how to troll, so we can kind of show you how to do it, help you learn, and get you all set up for trolling season. Detroit River Workshop. Look at Detroit River, they're still really on fire, actually. You can check out fishing reports at Lance Valentine Sport Fishing every night, but the Detroit River is on fire. Look at, if you fish Detroit River and you have not downloaded that workshop, I promise you, you're missing it. You're going to catch a lot more fish with the information on that workshop. Download it now, get ready, study it all summer so you're ready for next spring. And then you can ask some questions if you want to over the summertime. But get that downloaded. Again, teachingfishing.com. You can find that there. And obviously a PFD. Don't leave the dock until your PFD, everybody has a inflatable PFD on. And don't take them off until the boat is back at the dock and tied up. Bad things happen extremely quickly. I've been a part of a couple little issues. They happen real fast and things get hairy real quick. Have a PFD on. Makes a big difference in your safety. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about Gorper. So, I think I need to go back and revisit. I have it somewhere. We did a way back, a Walleye 101 fishing dictionary or terms. But a Gorper, for those of you who don't know, in fishing terms, a Gorper is someone who sees somebody catching fish and moves right in on the spot. A high-speed Gorper is someone who is on plane and running and sees a couple people catch fish and moves in to their spot. So you definitely don't want to be called a Gorper because it is a negative connotation everywhere. And you sure don't want to get a reputation as a Gorper because that's a sure way to not get information, not get told where the fish are. And it's a sure way to have a couple guys team up on you and push you out of a spot, to be honest with you. So that's what a Gorper is. So again, you don't want to be that. So let me tell you what I made a post the other day that, you know, I'm not a big fan of Gorpers. So the other day, and let me give you the full example. So the other day we were fishing a very shallow ridge. We're on the edge of 2 channels that are 25 to 30 feet deep. And between those 2 channels is a rock ridge that's about 8 to 11 feet deep. It's a very, very thin, maybe 2 boat widths wide. And we were up there catching fish. It's a great big fish, a great spot for big fish. Unfortunately, it's very close to a public ramp. And, you know, so I don't fish it all the time because I don't want everybody to know about it because it's a very, very special spot. and you can catch some nice fish there. So we were fishing the other day, and look at, I know, number one, I know people know who I am. Number two, people know my boat. Number three, I share information, and I know for a fact I'm going to have company most days, and I accept that part of what I do is sharing information, helping people catch fish, and with that comes the negative part of having people on a spot. I get that, and I've accepted that. I'm okay with that. But what this guy did is he was running back to the ramp, saw us catch a nice fish, and instantly turned around and pulled it. So high-speed gorper. He had no idea that spot was there. We're going to talk about etiquette in just a second. What he proceeded to do was get on top of the ridge, get snagged twice on the gravel that's in there, and drove back upstream with his big engine to get a 30-cent jig unhooked, and then proceeded to go finish his run back up, and actually run right on the edge of the ridge. So he basically blew the fish off there. He had no idea what was there. He had no idea how to fish it. He had no idea about the piece of structure. That really, really sticks in my craw. Absolutely sticks in my craw. So here is my personal rule. This is how I play gorping for me. So if I'm going somewhere and I see people catch fish, and it's a spot, number one, that I know, number two, was on my list to hit that day, and I see people catching fish, I do not feel guilty about moving in. I was going to come there anyway. That's on my list of spots, and I have a plan every day. If you wanted me to write it down every day, I'd be more than happy to write it down for you, but I have a plan A, B, C, D, and E every single day. I know what I'm going to do, and those results are going to move me to the next piece of the puzzle. So if it's a spot that I was going to hit, and I'm running between spot A and spot B, and that was spot C, and I see a bunch of nets go, I'm sliding in, and I don't feel guilty about it. If it's a spot I've never fished before, right? If it's a spot I've never fished before, I will mark it on my GPS, and I will not fish it right then. I will wait till the traffic clears out, and then I will go back and I will actually graph it. Regular sonar and side scan. Is this a piece of structure? Is there rocks? Is there gravel? Is there shallow water? Where are the fish? I will actually spend 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, 25, sometimes 30 minutes figuring out that piece of structure. So when I fish it properly, as opposed to the guy who just drove over 8 feet of water where there was a whole bunch of 6, 7, 8 pound fish, got snagged in the rocks he didn't know was there, and just screwed the whole place up. If it's a spot I've never fished before, number one, if it's a spot I've never fished before, I will not fish it. I will not fish it until I go back and actually look at it with less boat traffic. I'll wait till everybody's gone later in the day, another day when no one's fishing it. I'll go back and I'll graph it, and then I will feel comfortable actually fishing it. I do not, and this is from the bottom of my heart, I do not see somebody catching fish in a spot I've never fished before. I don't care if there's 100 boats and 100 boats all got 4 fish on at the same time. If I've never fished that spot, I'm not moving in there. I think that's a big, giant hunk of crap, to be honest with you. If you don't know that spot or that area, I don't think you have any right to be there the first time. When everybody's gone, you can go back and look at it, go back and fish it, no problem. Learn it. Now you're part of that group. It's your spot, one of your spots, go ahead and fish it, right? The other thing that drives me crazy about gorpers is gorpers will short drift a person. So like this ridge, right? So I have to get myself, I got to get about 100 yards upstream of this ridge, get my drift set up to be able to hit the ridge, because it's cattywampus to the current. So I have to be at the perfect angle to hit the ridge. Well, if I go up 100 yards and someone sees me catch fish on the pass and I go up 100 yards to get set up again, they slide in between me and the ridge. That's called short drifting. That's a bunch of crap. You wanna have a problem with me? Short drift me. Fish next to me, get upstream of me. I don't care. Do not short drift. I'm the nicest guy in the world. I share information. I share a fishing report every night, guys, and I know places are going to be crowded, but have a little respect, not just for me, for everybody. Don't short drift anybody. If everybody's going up, 500 yards to get set to come back and hit a spot, go up 500 yards. Don't go 100 and short drift everybody. That is a fast way to lose a bunch of respect from people. And I'll tell you, you get 3-4 guys. I've winked at a few charter captains, and we have pushed guys off of spots who didn't want to play properly. Get in line, watch everybody else do it. Get in line, work that line, go through the fish, and go back around and go back up. So just some etiquette. Don't fish a spot you've never fished before just because there's nets until you get a chance to go back and actually look at it. Don't ever short drift a guy, right? And watch a little bit. See where they're catching their fish. How are they setting up? How are they drifting? Are they adjusting their line, right? Do those things before you slide into a spot. And if you learn how to fish it, we had another guy that same night. I left it. I came back about an hour later. We caught 3 nice fish on it. Had another guy come down the channel, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. And he pulled in, and I watched him make his adjustments. I'm like, okay, this guy's fished here before because he knows what he's doing. By the time he made his drift, we were kind of at the end. We started yakking and talking and having a good old time. We shared what colors were working. I took a picture of him and his buddy. Each had a nice fish on that ridge. I took a picture of them in their boat. Perfect. You could tell that guy had fished that ridge before. He has every right to be there with me. We just took turns drifting by it. He'd watch me catch a couple, then I'd go back up and watch him catch a couple, and we just had a riot, right? The first guy that moved in, just, it takes a lot to get me mad. And I didn't get mad, but boy, it sure is frustrating when you get somebody that doesn't want to play. Same thing with trolling, right? See this all the time. We'll get 5 or 6 charter boat captains. We'll kind of be making a loop and making a circle, and the fish are here. Then we go out and around and get back set up and get back to the fish. And it's not just charter guys; it's other fishermen too. Then all of a sudden, one guy will go through the fish, make a hard turn, and then go back to the fish again. That's a fast way to get pushed off a spot. If there's 2, 3, 4, 5 boats fishing and everybody's making a loop and going through the fish in order, get in line. It's not that hard. If everybody's trolling east to west, don't troll north to south. Don't be that guy. I don't understand why people don't look at the places we fish. Detroit River, Saginaw Bay, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair River, Lake St. Clair. There's enough fish, right? You don't have to cut everybody off to get the fish. That's not the situation. Get in line, enjoy it, have fun with it. Don't be a jerk, number 1. Don't be a gorper, number 2. So now you know what a gorper is. A gorper is a guy who moves in on a spot and moves in on a spot he's never been on and doesn't know how to fish and screws it up for everybody else. So maybe we need some bumper stickers, right? Don't be a gorper. So that's what a gorper is. Okay. All right. Anybody want to make any comments about that? I'm sure I'm going to get blasted, because I know how people think. But anybody want to make any comments about that type of stuff? Anybody have anything that you do? Like I said, my rule of thumb is pretty simple. If it's a spot I've never fished or don't know about, I mark it. I'll be honest with you. If you're catching fish, I see a bunch of guys netting fish. I've never fished it. I'm going to mark it, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at it first before I fish it because I want to fish it properly. So just something to think about. So anybody have any comments about that? Any questions, any comments? Anybody want to yak about that? Look at a lot of fish, a lot of water. We can all get along. It only takes one guy. I've always said I could fish. I could fish, a 100-yard stretch by 30-yard stretch with 10 tournament guys or 10 charter boats, and all of a sudden you get one guy in there that screws it up for everybody. Right. So there you go. Ron says, I love slip bobber fishing. I've had guys move in right on top of the structure I'm fishing because they have seen me take a fish or two. So annoying. Yeah. Anytime a guy is anchored, right? So we used to have on the PWT, we used to have a rule. You got a buoy, an official marker buoy. And if you were anchored up or you were doing something, you throw your buoy and it created a 100-foot circle. Nobody could come inside that 100-foot circle when you threw your bobber or threw your buoy. That's my rule of thumb on a piece of structure. So if I see Ron slip bobbering from his bobber, I'm going to draw a 100-foot circle and I'm not going to go inside that 100-foot circle. So he could be fishing one end of a ridge and I could be fishing the other end, but I'm not going to get inside that 100-foot circle of where he's fishing. Not a 100-foot circle of his boat, 100-foot circle of where he's casting or bobber fishing. That's, again, my rule just out of respect. just the way we used to do it tournament fishing. I think that's a big deal. Look at, sometimes there's a 1 or 2, 3. Look at, ask the guys who fish the Mississippi River, pool 4, pool 3. There's like 5 spots you have a chance of winning the tournament on, and if you draw boat number 78, you ain't getting one of them. That just is what it is. And that's just what happens. It's just one of the deals, but if somebody's on a spot, especially a small spot, I don't care if you know it, you fish it. I don't care if you live on the lake, you cannot go in there. That's not how this works. Like Gary said, one of the reasons they quit fishing little bait and knock at night, because of that guy not going with the trollers, trolling opposite to us with wide boards. That's when you're in traffic. Look at my traditional 3-rod set is 100 feet to my outside board. If I'm in traffic or I'm in front of a river mouth or wherever the case may be, I may bring that board into 50 feet. You don't get a 400-foot swath when there's a spot. It's just, you have to be considerate. Steve is right. Saginaw Bay has way too many gorpers. He says, I go to my waypoint, start catching fish, and pretty soon I'm surrounded by boats going every which way. That's why I don't like calm days when I'm trolling. I like legitimate wind that makes you kind of focus on your direction, because when it's calm, people will cut every single direction, right? And remember, right, I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, I'm sure, but if I see one of you doing this, I know you're one of our guys, you're going to get talked to. The person on the right always has the right of way. So I don't care if you're driving to a waypoint, you've been fishing for 5 hours, and this guy is coming for the first time. If he's on your right, he gets to go to the spot. The person on the right always has the right of way in a boat. Let me say it again. The person on the right always has the right of way. The person on the right always has the right of way. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if you've been fishing there for 5 hours by yourself and this guy come out and saw you and he's passing. If he's on your right, you have to give way to him. It's that simple. That simple. John says the sad thing is the people on here care about the sport and others. It's the rest of the world that just won't get this or care. It is, but all I can do is take care of, my little world and the guys that are in it, and expect, set a standard and expect that, our guys, that's one of the reasons we put the stickers on the boat. We want to hold you to a higher standard. And if someone sees you acting properly and they say, hey, that was one of the teaching fishing guys and he gave me some room, that's important. Or worst case, I get an email, hey, one of your guys cut me off. That doesn't sit very well with me, to be honest with you. Ron says guys wreck wing dam fishing all the time in Mississippi. I think a lot of guys, and I see this on Detroit occasionally, I think a lot of guys get mad when they want to fish a spot and you're there. So you're anchored up, drop back fishing on a wing dam, and they want that wing dam, they'll ruin it on purpose. And that's crap, right? Making somebody's day bad because you're a jerk and you didn't get there first. That's just a bad attitude and a bad way to live your life. Anyway, so just a little thought. That Gorpin thing came up the other day, and I just wanted to kind of share some thoughts about etiquette. On the right. Look at a lot of places we fish. They're community spots. There's a lot of people. Get in there and talk to the guys and have a good time and get in line, and everybody's going to be helpful. There's not a single person that gets in line and does it right that if I'm catching fish and they're not. I threw a guy 4 jigs and a bunch of bodies the other day. We were all fishing a 150-yard stretch, and there was 200 of us there. And I was catching them, and this guy was struggling. I tossed him 4 jigs and 12 bodies and said, here, put this on. Because he was doing it right, right? There was people in that drift that I probably wouldn't have thrown a life ring to if they were in the water. So have some respect for everybody else. Do it the right way. Even if it costs you a pass or a drift or whatever, do it the right way. That's pretty important. Okay. All right. I want to wrap this up with this real quick. Number one, don't forget the Teaching Fishing Anglers Club topic this month is inland lake walleye. We're going to dig really deep into inland lake walleye. If you do a lot of inland lake walleye fishing, you need to be part of the Teaching Fishing Anglers Club. You can join that at teachingfishing.com. Remember, if you sign up right now, you become a member in May, but you have complete access to everything we've done all the way back to January included in your membership. So you don't just get May through December. Once you sign up, you get access to everything we've done this year. We've done some cool stuff and got some really neat stuff coming up. So please be a part of the membership. Real quick, Kurt, I shot very, very well today. I shot 43 tonight. Listen to this, 43 tonight with 2 doubles and a quad. So I was 8 over on 3 holes and still shot 43. So yeah, played pretty good tonight, actually. Hitting the ball pretty good for the second time out. So excited about where we're going to go this year. Got new irons. Actually, thank you to Forrest Menzing if he's watching. So Forrest had a set of irons that he wasn't using, and they were much better than my 35-year-old ones that I had fit for me when I was 162 pounds. So anyway, all right, I want to wrap it up with this. You saw a post on Teaching Fishing. Ray Scott passed away. Ray Scott was the person that started BASS. Him and a couple other guys, Bob Cobb, and there was a few other guys that Bob Cobb passed away a couple years ago. But Ray was kind of the, I guess the best word to describe Ray Scott was a cowboy, a maverick. He went against what everybody told him couldn't be done, and he built up a membership group that allowed them to teach bass fishing and allowed them to promote the best bass fish. Same thing later that In Fisherman did with Professional Walleye Trail. The BASS allowed them a avenue. The magazine created dollars that allowed them for to create BASS Tournament Trail and to give a place to promote the best anglers that also focused on sharing information. Ray Scott passed away the other day, is 88 years old, right? And when I think about where we are right now in the fishing world, I don't care if it's bass fishing, striper, don't care. There are 3 people who instantly come to mind. And again, I am so thankful. I grew up as this thing was happening, right? And I was on it. I read every single article, watched every TV show, dug through every magazine. I was constantly reading fishing stuff as this was happening, right? I mean, back in the 72, 73, 74, 75, I mean, at 7, 8 years old, I was reading Fishing Facts magazine front to back every single month, Field and Stream front to back every single month as a 7, 8 year old. I just dug fishing information. But Ray Scott, so here's the way I look at it, right? So there's 4 people I would put on the Mount Rushmore. That's another one. Doug Hanna's another one. Doug goes a little bit deeper. My Mount Rushmore of fishing is Buck Perry, Al Lindner, Ray Scott, Forrest Wood. And the reason I say that is this. Buck Perry gave us the foundation of everything we're doing now. Now, everything that Buck thought was right was not true. We're finding out, every year that some of the things he talked about, fish living in deep water, moving to shallow water to feed and coming back, doesn't always happen. The fish have a tendency to live close to where their bait is, but he got 95% of it right. This guy was mapping structure with spoon plugs before Daryl Lawrence even thought about making a sonar unit, right? So Buck Perry kind of laid the foundation of smart fishing, fishing with a purpose, having a plan, planning a trip, that type of thing. Okay. So sit tight, Johnny. I'm going to get to that. So my Mount Rushmore of fishing is Buck Perry. Okay. That's the guy who laid the foundation. Second on that Mount Rushmore is Al Lindner, because Al Lindner took what Buck Perry figured out, and Al Lindner was the person, along with a bunch of people at Fishing Facts, and then in Fisher Magazine. But I'm going to use Al Lindner kind of as a spearhead, because if you understand the history of all of that, Al was kind of the guy that kind of put his nose out there and said, we can do this, right? And kind of brought the whole group together. Al Lindner took what Buck Perry came up with and made it understandable to the common angler and made it easy for the common angler to apply it. So we could take Buck's knowledge. Al gave us an easy way to understand it so we could actually go to the lake and use the knowledge. So Al Lindner is the second on there. Forrest Wood came along, and Forrest Wood gave us really the first platform to be able to fish out of, the first boats that were controllable. the first boats that were designed for bow-mount electric trolling motors, the first boats that were semi-safe to take out in big water, the first boats that had sonar units mounted on the dash, that had upright flotation. So Forrest Wood at Ranger Boats gave us the platform to be able to go out and apply what Al Lindner helped us understand that Buck Perry taught us. And then the fourth person on that Mount Rushmore is Ray Scott, because Ray Scott created the stage that has been copied in every species since, but he gave the stage and the media platform for the best anglers in the world to show off their talents and share what they were doing with the general public. So that is kind of my my Mount Rushmore of fishing, right? Then we can go one step down and kind of do a second level. And these are the people that Doug Hanna comes to mind. That Doug Hanna changed bass fishing. If you don't know who Doug Hanna is, do a Google search. This guy was absolutely 100% amazing. Second person would be Daryl Lawrence. I think that's an extremely port of that puzzle. Johnny, we're on the same wavelength. Bill Binkelman would be my third person on that second level. Now, Bill, along with some guys from Fishing Facts, Bill is the guy who basically developed the live bait techniques that Al Lindner would make famous with the Lindy rig. That was Bill Binkelman. He was the first guy that talked about fluorescence, the first guy that talked about walleyes could see fluorescence, chartreuses and orange and lime greens, the first guy to come up with a walking sinker, live bait rigs, soft action rods with some backbone so you could actually move. The fish could actually suck in your bait and you could actually give them that, but then be able to set the hook. Bill Binkelman, again, another guy that unfortunately gets lost to history because he wasn't a sexy guy. But just one of the guys. So he's my fourth guy or third guy. And I would say on that second echelon, the next person that I would put on there, and this can be up for debate, maybe we can debate this some other day, but the person that I would put on that second tier as far as the Mount Rushmore of fishing, that person would be Virgil Ward. And I say that because Virgil Ward brought fishing education to TV. He was the first guy that really broke down what he was doing, showed you his lures in a tank, talked to you about why he was actually fishing what he was fishing. He was kind of the pioneer of the media, TV, mass media fishing education world that obviously the Lindners copied, and Roland Martin and Jimmy Houston and Orlando Wilson, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But that second tier of guys, Doug Hanna, Bill Binkelman, Daryl Lawrence, and again, I would add as my fourth guy, I would add Virgil Ward because he was the one that kind of developed the format of the fishing education show, and had a really cool theme song too. So anyway, all right, I just wanted to share with you. Rest in peace, Ray Scott. Obviously we've lost Ray Scott, we've lost Forrest Wood, we lost those other guys. The only one of those group that is still alive is Al Lindner right now. We lost Daryl Lawrence, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Someone says Babe Winkelman, and I will not put Babe Winkelman on this list. I'll tell you some stories in private if you want to hear them, George, but I will not put Babe Winkelman on that list for a couple reasons. So anyway, there you go. Great night tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't be a gorper. Wear your life jacket. Sign up for a trolling boot camp. We don't have a lot of spots left. And get down to Detroit River. Detroit River is amazing right now. Left the dock at 7 today, 8:06, our 24th walleye went in the live well. Fishing is just going to get better most days. I'm sure we'll have a day or two where they move and we kind of don't get on them right away, but Fishing is great. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for the folks behind the camera that made me look good. We're still looking for that tall, skinny filter, but appreciate all the work that gets done behind the scenes to make this happen. I hope you guys say thank you to our production folks that really make us look good, take care of the website and everything else. Teaching Fishing Anglers Club, make sure you sign up. Great month this month, and you have access to all the information we've done all the way back to January if you sign up right now. Have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you back here next Wednesday for Coffee Hour Plus. Have a great night, guys.